Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Dinosaur deck profiles. This deck has gone through a lot of changes since the previous build, where before we had 3 Miscellaneousaurus and now we only have 1, but we did gain the scrap engine for this particular deck, so I'm really excited to show this one off to you because this deck actually just got really insane. Like, it did lose a Miscellaneousaurus, but there's ways to kind of play around that already, so I'm really excited to show you guys this deck and see exactly how to play around Miscellaneous being at 1. So, without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of notifications squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name searched for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month your patron, along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing the biggest, the baddest, the boss, Ultimate Conductor Tyrannos. This card is absolutely nuts. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your, hand by banishing 2 dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard, and then once per turn during either player's main phase, you can destroy a card in your hand or your field, and if you do, you change all face-up monster opponent controls to face-down defense position. This card can attack all monster opponent controls once each, and at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent and send that monster to the graveyard. This card is one of the best boss monsters in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I absolutely love this card in this deck, and it is the reason that this deck really works. We then play a single copy of Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Pankratops is basically a cyber dragon. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field. You can also tribute a Dino Wrestler on your side of the field to be able to target a card your opponent controls and immediately destroy it. So it's a really great card for this deck. We then play the best normal summon in the entire deck, which is 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. This card is the Searcher of the deck that has the ability that if this card is a normal or special summon, you get to take a dinosaur monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. And you can target one other level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster on the field, destroy it, then special summon a dinosaur type monster from your graveyard in defense position. So it helps you trade your dinos in and out, which is really helpful. We then play just the one Miscellaneousaurus. Miscellaneousaurus is still a great one of, and what it does is during your main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and during the main phase, dinosaur monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects that are activated effects. And then you can manage this card from the graveyard and any other number of dinosaurs to be able to special summon a dinosaur from the deck that is equal to the level of the amount of dinosaurs you sent or into the bet you banish. So basically, if you banish 4, you can special summon a level 4. If you just banish Miscellaneousaurus, then you can special summon a level 1. So you have a lot of really good effects for this particular card. We then play a single copy of Giant Rex. This card just kind of recurs itself to your side of the field. Every time it's banished, it special summons itself back, once per turn that is, which is pretty good just to get you an additional monster on the field. We then play 3 copies of Baby Sarasaurus. Baby Sarasaurus is one of the best cards in the entire deck because whenever it is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster from your deck. We then play a single copy of Petite Pterodon. Petite Pterodon is just a one-of to me because it only special summons level 4 or higher from the deck, which we do have a lot of level 4 or higher, but a lot of the monsters that we're going to want to special summon are level 4 or lower, and some of them are lower than level 4 that we want to have. So Petite Pterodon is not quite as versatile as Baby Sarasaurus, so we just play it as a one-of. We then play 2 copies of the Orby Dinosaur. This card is hilarious. I love the artwork of this card. It's so cool. It just makes me think of Orbeez. And what this card does is if it is normal or special summon, you can destroy 1 dinosaur monster in your hand or face them in your field except this card, and then add 1 reptile, sea serpent, or winged beast monster from the same type as that monster, or an evolution pill spell from your deck to your hand. So basically this card just searches your evolution pill. It's really a great card. Archaeosaurus is really, really good to be able to just normal summon or special summon off your copy of your Miscellaneousaurus. We then play 2 copies of Scrap Raptor for our scrap package. Scrap Raptor is the greatest normal summon outside of Soul Eating Oviraptor because you can go full combo with Scrap Raptor, which is really amazing. It is a tuner monster, so it helps us go into a lot of plays in this deck, and basically lets you target 1 monster you control, destroy it, and also during the main phase you can normal summon a scrap monster, and it's your normal summoner set, and if this card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap card and sent to the graveyard, you get to add a scrap factory or 1 non-tuner scrap monster from your deck to your hand, which is always going to be your copy of your Scrap Chimera, because when you normal summon the copy of Scrap Chimera, it has the ability to be able to revive back your copy of your Scrap Raptor from the graveyard, essentially giving you a level 8 Synchro monster, or letting you go into your copy of Scrap Wyvern to be able to then special summon out from the deck a copy of Scrap Golem, which then can just get you even more plays by special summoning back to your side of the field the Scrap Raptor or the Chimera to let you link climb, but this is pretty much what you need for the main Scrap combo of the deck. So for the rest of the cards, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Nemesis Keystone. Nemesis Keystone is a really good card in this deck too. This is how I'm kind of playing around with Miscellaneousaurus being at 1. This card is really nice, especially with Scrap Raptor. It helps you go into like stuff like your copy of Naturia Beast. It helps you go into different Synchro monsters. It's a level 1, so it's easy to link away with it, and it lets you target your Miscellaneousaurus, and then if it's banished, and special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field, if you do, shuffle that Miscellaneousaurus back into the deck, and then during the end phase, if this card is currently banished and was banished this turn, then you can add it back to your hand. So it even combos with Double Evolution Pill to be able to banish this card and then immediately grab it back to get another dinosaur back into the deck and then special summon it again for free. So this card is a 2 of, is totally fine to me. I don't feel like I needed any more than 2, so 2 is fine to be able to play in this deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the hand traps for the deck. So for the hand traps, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Nibiru. The Nibirus are really good because they took out the dinosaurs the first time, but they're going to take out your opponent's monsters the second time, which is really, really good. I really like this card. It just stops my opponent from swarming the field. I can throw out a Nibiru against my opponent. I only play 2 because I don't feel like I need more than 2 personally, and it does its job when I have it at 2. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom because the 3 Ash Blossoms just stop my opponent from touching the deck, so they're really good at just doing that. And then we play 3 copies of Gamma because it's arguably one of the best hand traps in the entire game. Because this card, basically, if you activate a spell that searches the deck, like Fossil Dig or something like that, and your opponent tries to Ash you, you can then activate this card and be able to special summon it to your side of the field with a copy of Driver, just to be able to stop your opponent from stopping you with a hand trap. So basically, this is the anti-hand trap card. So that's it for the hand traps, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Call by the Grave. The Call by the Grave is really helpful in this deck because it's going to get you a lot of different plays to be able to just stop your opponent from hand trapping you. Same thing as kind of the Gamma. We play a single copy of Instant Fusion because I use this to actually special summon out to my side of the field. My copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict to, again, kind of stop my opponent from hand trapping me. We play a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is really, really helpful in this deck because it's going to grab your copy of Lost World from your deck to your hand. And then we play 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill. The Double Evolution Pills are really good in this deck because they have the ability to banish a dinosaur monster and a non-dinosaur monster from your hand or grave, and then special summon a level 7 or higher dinosaur from your hand or deck, which is always going to be your copy of your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno that you're going to be special summoning off of this card. We then play 3 copies of Fossil Dig because a Fossil Dig lets you dig into the deck and grab a dinosaur from the deck, which is really nice to be able to just grab any level 6 or lower dinosaur from your deck to your hand. And then we play 3 copies of the field spell Lost World to round out the deck. So what this card does is all monsters on the field lose 500 attack except for dinosaur monsters. And then once per turn, if a dinosaur monster is normal or special summoned except during the damage step, you can special summon a Jurassic token or Egg token, dinosaur type level 1/0/0 to your opponent's field in defense position, and then while your opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects except the token. And then once per turn, if a normal monsters on the field would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy as many dinosaur monsters and from your hand or deck instead. So basically it can let you pop the baby Cerasauruses, it can let you pop the copy of the Petite Pterodon in the deck to be able to get you free special summons just for protecting a token that's a 0/0 on your opponent's side of the field. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Scrap Wyvern. You just need 1 copy of this card. If you guys are unfamiliar with what this card does, it lets you target a scrap monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then destroy a card your opponent controls, or destroy a card you control. And if another face-up scrap monster is destroyed by a card effect while you control this monster, then you can special summon a scrap monster from the deck and then destroy a card on the field. So it's really good going second because it can pop stuff and just deal with a lot of stuff on the field. I really like this card as a 1 of in here. It really comes in handy, especially with Scrap Raptor being a dinosaur. It's just really good. We then play a single copy of Access Code because it pops a bunch of stuff on the field, which is really nice. 1 copy of Appaloosa. The Appaloosa gives you additional negations, which is also very nice. Unicorn because it spins stuff. Phoenix because it pops spells and traps. Because I always want to be able to use my copy of Gamma, I also play a Lambda. Lambda is really good because it basically says, hey, I can use my Gammas even if I control monsters, which is really nice. 1 copy of Pentastag. Pentastag is really helpful because if this card is linked to a monster, then that monster that this card points to can basically inflict piercing damage, which comes in very handy. I play a single copy of IP Masquerena because it lets me go in for my other Link monsters during my opponent's turn, which is also very nice. For my one instant fusion target, I'm playing a Millennium Eyes Restrict just to basically stop my opponent from hitting me with hand traps, which is really nice. One copy of Psyframe Lord Omega because you are playing the Psyframe package, so this card is really nice, especially to go into on your turn because it can rip a card out of your opponent's hand. I mean, think about it this way. It can basically take 2 cards out of your opponent's hand because they try and hand trap you, you stop them with the Gamma, and then you synchro into this, and you basically stop them again because you're going to rip a card out of their hand, which is really nice. So they start with like 4 instead of 6, which is really cool. We play a single copy of Borreload Savage Dragon. Borreload Savage Dragon is really easy to summon in this deck, so it gives you additional negations. We play a single copy of Naturia Beast because Naturia Beast is really easy to summon in this particular build with Keystone because you can basically normal summon Scrap Raptor, and then if you have something banished like a Misk, then you can basically special summon it for free and then synchro it away after you've gone full Scrap combo and revived back your Scrap Raptor with your copy of Golem. You can basically synchro with the Keystone into this card with your copy of Scrap Raptor plus Keystone. We then play a single copy of Dolka because Dolka is really good because during either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated, you can detach a material from this card, negate the activation if you destroy that card. And then we play a single copy of Logia because Logia has a better effect, in my opinion. Maybe not, because you can actually use Dolka twice. They're just situational, I guess. This card is basically Solemn Judgment, but speed spell 2. Because when a monster would be normal summon or special summon, or a spell or trap is activated, you detach 2 materials from this card, negate the summon or the activation, destroy the card. Whereas Dolka just requires 1, so they're kind of arguably both really good just for particular situations. And then I play a single copy of Galliant Granite, because Galliant Granite can actually search my copy of my Keystone. It can search Nibiru in certain situations if I know a matchup that I'm going to need it. And it's just overall a fantastic card to actually throw into this particular deck. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to be able to play around with. It's a lot more budget than your average like Dinosaur build. Like, you can change out stuff like the access code if you want to really play Scrap, or not Scrap, but you really want to play Scrap Dinos, but you don't want to play like Pot of Prosperities. This is probably a better build. You can change this out for a Borreload or Boral Sword Dragon. The rest of the stuff I would probably recommend playing because Dolka is going to get a reprint anyways. I think it's King's Court that's getting a reprint in. The rest of the stuff in the main deck, except for the Archaeosaurus, is not that expensive. So it's relatively a budget version of Dinos. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.